Center for Innovation and Technology is offering you a golden opportunity to speak directly to your market at an affordable price. We also offer media training workshops, live streaming, documentary production, and events management. Get in touch with us today on the following numbers: +263 867 711 0290 or 0718 100 235. Don't forget to subscribe to our social media platforms. Like our Facebook page, Center for Innovation and Technology. Follow us on Twitter @SiteZW. And you can also check out our website, www.site.org.zw.
Ngithanda ukubonga ukuthi sike sakhuluma ngebala elithi peace. Sibe sesingena ke ku reconciliation. Ngesindebele bathu kukhumelana imilota. Bengikhuluma izolo ngobabu Hussein osuke wavakatshela eRwanda. Wababona ukuthi basuka benza njani ukuze bakhumelane imilota. Uyabona ukungakhumelana imilota lokho ubulokhu phethe izikwelede phakathi kwenhliziyweni kuyabulala sihlobo. Yikho lisizwe ukuthi usibanibani ube sephilile kodwa waphonga ukuqaleka nje. Kuyabe kukhona okunye phakathi lapha khumelana imilota. Amajele liwabona egcwele ngabantu abanenge akuthiwa yizigebenga babulala. Lathi sonke siyizigebenga kodwa kwesinye isikhathi siyaxolelana. Kungenxa yokuthi asikhumelani imilota. Atichare gerererani kuti hayi ningi anditadzira. Uyazi kungakhumelani imilota kusenza ukuthi abantu baphonga ukubulala. The other day kwakule ndaba ephepheni yokuthi omnye wabulala umuntu ngenxa yokuthi wayemkweleti $1. $1 mali hathi le enye esilayo okuthiwa ngamabond. Wathi lesikweleti sami lwana wathi noma ngilesikweleti sami ungaphonga umbizele ebantwini untshela $1. Hayi ngakubhatala ngembuzi mina. Basuka babulalana ngenxa yokuthi babengakhumelani imilota. Singobani thina abe commission? Singobani thina abe commission? Ngingakangeni ukuthi lina lingena njani. We are a product of the Constitution. The Chapter 12 Constitution on Democracy. Chapter 12. Njengomuntu ke wasebenza emakoti lapha ngihamba ngilile yi constitution elilayo. Ayiduri uma lifuna kuyitenga $5 kuma nasingeni ku government government printers. We are called one of the five, Chapter 12 of the Constitution. Now, abanye bethu abaku Constitution ku Chapter 12 ngabe media, IZEC, Human Resources Commission, ebesilomhlangano izolo bephephetha ngezama indaba zokubalwa kwabantu lokuthi lezithupa uma zilahlekile sihamba njani. Sibe legenda. Igenda igcile kakhulu kubomama ukuthi abaphathwa kakuhle. Sibe siba ke ne-national peace and reconciliation. ithi amacina thunjwana yiko abantu bengasazi kakhulu ukuthi kathi senzani nje nge-commission. What are we doing? Why have we suddenly come into the picture? Now, our functions are found in terms of section 5.2 of the Constitution. That's where our functions are. We are also a product of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission Act, Umthetho Act number 11 of 2017. Ilapho sithola khona lapho ukuthi umsebenzi wethu ngowani. Siphinde sibe lama regulations. Umthetho lo wasayinwa ngupresident. Upresident wakhathesi lo upresident ubaba uMnangagwa mhla ka 5 January 2018. Ngangakazalwa mina mhlawumbe babe lokhu besangikhombisa ukuthi ngibuye njani ngoba kwaba lo chairman ubaba uNdebele owakhethwayo wasesedlula ke babemele bedingela khona ngapha kwelasemandebeleni ngoba inhlungu zazizwakala lapha. I remember at his burial, one of the officers from the office of the president and cabinet asking me to send in my CRV ukuthi mina ngingubani. Unkosikazi wayeseduze wathi lina lifuna ukumbulalela indoda khona. Uza kwanelisa khonokho baba. Hayi ungazowavuma uyazi ukuthi inkomo umifa kwijogo iqala ilwise khonapha. But because of the new dispensation, I found myself having to listen to the call of duty ukuthi ngibe nguchairman. Ngubani ijakaleli elime phambi kwenu. Inwele zami sezimhlophe kodwa ogogo bathi kimi ulijaha. Nzalwa kwala seGwanda. I'm a lawyer by profession. Ngaqalisa ngingumbalisi eSishabani khonale ngafundisa eSishabani. Ngiyantshela ubaba uMnangagwa ngoba ngafundisa duzane lomzi wabo ukuthi ini ndiri mkaranga chaye ndiriwe jira. Phakamisani izandla bavele eSishabani lapha. Bakhona abakho. Oh, hayi sizalikhombisa libuye. Ndiriwe jira ndipe ijebe ngafundisa kuyona leyo ndawo ngasembuye kwele mandebeleni ngachi teaching ngoba ezomthetho lezi zazi nambitha ngazibona ngitolika yiko ngisaza ama languages ngangena ke ezomthetho ngaze ngaba ngumantshi usukela kumantshi lokunqansa ngaze ngaba ngujudge kodwa ensontweni angizange ngiyekele umfundisi wami angalitshela ukuthi hayi angilovi esontweni ngenxa yomsebenzi okhona ngoba ngithanda ukuthi ngibusisekile. Now, what is the composition of the commission? Lizabona ukuthi asanelanga. What is the composition of the commission? Kwathi ngomnyaka ka 2016 there was an advert in the newspapers inviting the public, inviting the public to submit the names of suitable candidates who were going to be commissioners. This was done in respect of ZEC, the media, the Human Resources Rights Commission, la yethu yona le inasinga National Peace and Reconciliation. Lami ngathi semfakatshele eHarare khonale ngahamba ngabona ukuthi uma ufuna ukuthi ube lilunga elinje umele ube simobani. Now kwaba labantu abaningi abafakelwa ama suitable candidates, amabizo abo athunyelwa eParliament. These people did not apply themselves. Babe ipublic hiyo eyayifaka amabizo ukuthi mina ngifuna usibani bani akhethwe abe lilunga le commission. Lame ngakhethwa ngalesi sikhathi I had retired, of course, sengiziphumulela ngiselusa inkomo emarula ngabe. Ngezwa sengibizwa ukuthi i-committee, the Standing Orders Committee, wants you to appear before the Parliamentary Committee in order for them to ask you questions whether you're a suitable candidate. I remember very well on a Monday when I was invited to Harare. Lami ngagoqa imtshaqana yami bengakwazi ukuthi ngubani onkethileyo ngasuka ngaye Harare. On Tuesday I appeared in the Gender Commission, and then on Wednesday I appeared in the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission. Ngasengikhohlwe ngakho lokho ukuthi kade uhamba njani ngenxa yokuthi bengingazikhethanga ngakhethwa ngabantu. This is where I want to put the difference, because a lot of us believe that labo bantu bazikhetha hachi amabizo abo avela kumphakathi vakasarudzwa nemwi kuti ini ndinofunga kuti ningi would be a suitable candidate for this commission. Ngaleso sikhathi ke abanye bangena ku ZEC, abanye bangena ku media, abanye bangena ku gender. Sayahlangana khona le Parliament sesibuzwa lathi imbuzo echiyeneyo. Ngithe ngilibeleke ngezwa omunye esithi yena ay silibonile ibizo lakho. Standing committee eParliament, including the Speaker and all the political parties, MDC, ZANU, labanye abathize ababase Parliament, submitted to the President 32 names. 32 names. Upresident wawahluza amabizo lawa. Kwasala amabizo angu-32. Kodwa khona kudingakala abantu abangu-8. 8 kuphela. Lelami lahanjiswa khonale ngezwe semfonela kuphume emaphepheni ukuthi hayi ye usudliwe yivoti lapha. Angamelela ke upresident kwahanjiswa amabizo angu-12. Upresident wayezakhetha 8 out of that. ekukhethweni kwe 8 out of 12 ibizo lami alisangelibele khona nkosikazi wathi udliwe yivoti baba awuzange ukhethwe athi phoke ngingathini sengidliwe yivoti ngiyavuma ukuthi ngidliwe yivoti kwakhethwa abantu abangu-8 ngikhangele amabizo abantu kwase kukhethwa ke upresident wasekhetha ke uCharleman. The chairman was chosen by the president. The 8 other commissioners were selected by the parliamentarian standing committee. Lingizwisise khonapha abazange bazifaka kuleso isikhundla ngasendliwa yivoti angavuma ukuthi ivele ivoti idlabanye abantu wasisidlula ke oKandebele kathi sengizabizwa upresident esikhangela amabizo wathi baba ungaziwafunga ukuthi tapezerana newe ukuthi wabakudla umdlani gere nanko omunye umsebenzi. That is how I was chosen as the chairman, as by the president. I'm a product of the president's choice. Whether it was a good choice or a bad choice, well, I didn't question that. Lami ngavuma ukuthi njengoba kufika new dispensation hayi yeke lamphathise indawo yakithi. And I'm happy because I'm able to work for the nation, particularly this region of Zimbabwe. Now ngikhangele amabizo abantu njengo chairman. Ngabona ukuthi omunye owakhethwayo wayevele Chipinge. You see, the tribal balance was struck, except maybe the language. Ngiyabakhuthaza ama-commissioner ami ukuthi fundana ama-languages. Lingaze lahlala phezu kwama-languages ukuze likhulume labantu. Ngafika kubo bese ngikhuluma isiNdebele abanye bekhuluma ama-languages athize. I also noticed that one of my commissioners came from Mashonaland West. The other commissioner came from Mashonaland East, from the area of Masingo, from the area of Midlands, Kongungumbani ngale, and etc., etc. I believe that the then president, in his wisdom, looked at the spread of the commissioners right throughout the country. And Commissioner Ngube, I would have further introduced him, came from this part. But I encouraged, there was a hitch here in terms of languages. When they first came here before my appointment, I was appointed on the 1st of March 2018. I was telling my wife that time goes so quickly. I am now there. I was not born knowing the languages, but I taught because I was an interpreter. I was keen in learning the languages. And engubona ukuthi abafundisi abanengi akusukume baba sukume ay yahlala phansi ngithi ubaba lo ay sukume uyasikhuluma isiNdebele kodwa uthe fika kuleli leMandebeleni wafikela eNtabazinduna angitsho abantu bathi hayi umuntu ongazasiyo kungani ukuyezulwini language kodwa bakhuthaza abantu. Zinduna zami ngiyabakhuthaza ke ama commissions, but we are looking into the issue of maybe increasing the people's numbers who know the languages so that they can talk to you in the language. So languages or a language should not be a hindrance. Ubishop Masuku ngizwe enchaza ungena esishoneni wangena esindebeleni nyabona lesinyanjeni uyangena and okuchiyeneyo. NjengamaKristu asikhuthazeni ukuthi siyemukele ilanguage amongst the commissioners. Ngoba into yelanguage le njengoba abazi iBhayibheli yaqalisa khonale on the Tower of Babel. People knew one language, angitsho bafundisi. Yeah, babe one language, kodwa uNkulunkulu esefuna ukuba viringa ama languages are different. Uyabona, it is interesting. I-language means determination. Ungahambe South Africa uhlangane labantu uzathola umuntu ovela eChipinge esekhuluma isiZulu okumangalisayo, esekhuluma ke isiSuthu, Rimelara esekhuluma isiXhosa. My son is married to a Xhosa girl, and I had to learn Xhosa ukuthi ngiyemcelela umlotha khona ngale. So the formation of the committee is that there are 4 ladies there, omunye and then a vice chair, intombi evela eChipinge, evela uyise bavele ePinga, kodwa ngenxa yokuthi wakhulela eMashonaland, she knows more of Shona than Istonga. 4-4. That's a balance. Omama bebeyifuna le ibalance. Mina ngazo spoiler ke ibalance yakhona. Sengiyibi wesilisa, I'm the 9th. So li zabona ukuthi we are few. We can't cover the whole country. And because we cannot cover the whole country, this is where the peace committees come in. Again, this is and I feel very gratified that the peace committees are alive in this area or alive in the whole country. Peace committees. Peace committees. Very important. Ngenxa yokuthi i-constitution yethu ivele specific ukuthi ekwenzeni umsebenzi, when we are carrying out our mandate, but ningetichita basaredu, we must call upon other people to help. And I'm impressed at the number of people who have come forward as members of the peace committees. What it means now is that I, Lobabu Ngube, lamanye ama peace committee leaders, will invite other people, abanjengamapolisa, political parties, don't leave them out because they must say their minds. Political parties, in fact, section 6, ungabaliqwetha uyabulokhu bulala abantu ngama-section, noma bengakwazi ukuthi achona ama-section wona lawo inasing. Section 6 were National Peace and Reconciliation Commission talks about the operation of the commission. ukuthi sisebenza njani. Section 3 walesi sigaba ukhuluma ukuthi the commission shall operate throughout the country. Throughout the country. And I've been quite impressed that we are operating throughout the country. You look at people that are coming from Motare, people that are coming from Midlands, people that are coming from Harare and other parts of the country. This is very impressed. You make our work lighter. Sesihamba lapho kuvunde khona bakakorela kuitira kuti basa redu rigofamba zvakanaka. People from Bridge, now we operate throughout the country. And the following sentence is of great importance. During the discharge of its mandate, sesisiya ebantwini khona lapho ukuthi siyakhulumisana labo nge-operations zethu. During the discharge of its mandate, request simele singenise isicelo kwini from the existing institutions. The chiefs are the existing institutions. Likhona lapha makhosi. Because we must approach you. Sicela ukuthi singene esigabeni. Sekuvuthiwe baba bengisitshela unkosikazi ngithi komathema kuvuthiwe. Ngoba hayi angisoze mbe sisadinga i-go between. Senza hamba ngiyibona umathema ukuthi kambe singangena ngaphi khona phana. Including independent commissions, njengabanye ama-commissions, local government. Now, ku-local government lapha, silabantu abanjengoDA, esiyahamba sibabone. Maybe sibuza indlela ukuthi kathi sisuka lapha siya ngaphi uma sisiya kobaba uStawutse sihamba njani anyayazi indawo yakhe ubaba uStawutse ngoba uyise wafunda lo baba khona le eMasasi. Local government, civil society, lina lingangena ku civil society. Yes, thank you for the 5 minutes. Bengisenkomela. The media, ababhalayo, faith-based institutions. Faith-based institutions. This is an area esebenza kakhulu. Ngoba 90% or over 90% of the Zimbabweans are Christians. You know, exciting to see the Roman Catholic leadership coming in. The other day they had gone to Silveira House, some of my commissioners, in order to talk to them. And other institutions whose assistance the commission may deem necessary. Ilapho kungena khona amapolisa, okungena khona ezinye inhlangothi esithize abanenge abangena khona. So to me it is indeed exciting to be here. Hence, in honor of what you have done, I appointed Commissioner Ncube to work hand in hand in the formation and strengthening of the peace committees. And we will be coming amongst you as equal partners, to see whether we are able to deal with the strengthening of the peace committees. And so each one of us should feel included in the peace committees as we travel in. For as the 9 members, and you can see we are even less than the 12 disciples that Christ appointed. So we are lacking in capacity. We are lacking in numbers. And that comes from you people. And as I indicated, I am excited that the peace committees have been formed, and I believe the other people, other stakeholders will come forward and complement our duties. Ours, let me end by saying, is not to dictate to the communities, to the chieftainship, to the churches what to do. We are coming to you and saying, please, all of us must be involved. Please provide your expertise. Please provide your help in as far as what we can do in order to bring in peace. Now, peace is very, very fundamental. Very, very fundamental. Time is not on my side. I was going to maybe share with you my paper on dialogue, but I hope we will discuss that. That the mandate of the Commission as espoused in Chapter 12, Part 6, 252 of the Constitution gives impetus to dialogue. Dialogue, dialogue, dialogue on the basis of peace. Like Ubaba Umungameli Umnangagwa talked about peace. And this is a very, and he also cites Matthew. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. Who does not like to be called a son of the Almighty? And once more, let me say, I'm excited. I could talk the whole day about the subject of peace. And you'll notice that our God is the God of peace. God the Father is called the God of peace. Hebrews 11 verse 20. God the Son is called the Prince of Peace. Isaiah 9 verse 6. God the Holy Spirit is called the Spirit of Peace. 2 Corinthians 1 verse 22. We are all here in his name. Hence it's easy for us. And you may say, ubaba lo engujaji amavesi uwazuza ngaphi singithapha ebafundisini khonale ukuthi ake li provide ukuthi kuhamba njani. Now, in order, what is the importance of peace? That's my last sentence. Peace guarantees free political participation in the public affairs of the nation. Peace guarantees national development. Without peace, there is no development. Peace guarantees freedom of worship. Peace guarantees freedom of movement. Peace guarantees family stability. Peace guarantees gender equality. This is like the Ngabomama, gender equality. Peace guarantees societal stability. And lastly, peace is the cornerstone of a society. Like a politician, I would have gone on, and at the end of the day say, with those few words, please feel encouraged to be members of the peace committees. I thank you.
I want to say all potholes observed. As you might understand, in Zimbabwe, with all the kind of potholes that we have, it will be very important that when you come in front, you observe all the potholes. And so I'd like to make sure that all the potholes are observed too. My brief is very simple. I'm supposed to talk about, to unpack the issues to do with national dialogue. This is so important, and I think this is an opportunity for us as the church to have a clear understanding of what it is, what kind of animal we're talking about. Now, national dialogue is the process in which the nation, in its inclusiveness, engage, come together, begin to talk about issues that matter with them. Nation, and I'm talking about in its all various facets. It is not limited to what is called elite pact, ZANU-PF MDC. National dialogue is not limited to that. It is not limited to civic organizations alone. It has to demonstrate the fact that it is indeed a national in terms of its composition and inclusivity. So here we're talking about government, we're talking about political parties, we're talking about NGOs, we're talking about churches. We're talking about even Abem Dabuku, traditional leaders. Everybody must actually be involved. It is not just for special people. It is for everybody who is Zimbabwean, and therefore Zimbabweans must be involved. What we have had in Zimbabwe so far are elite pacts. From the Lancaster House Agreement to the Unity Accord to the GNU, it was never inclusive. It never included the people of Zimbabwe. There were people that went there on behalf of others. That's not what we are talking about here when we talk about national dialogue. It's important for everybody to understand that. The reason why this is critical is because national dialogue is quite often used as a tool for conflict transformation and a tool for political transformation, a manner in which we change the culture and the way in which politics is actually played and politics is done. Because national dialogue includes more people and others that have no personal, party, political, ideological issues. National dialogue enhances and helps in nation building because of its inclusivity. Very critical for most of us to understand and to also move from this elite pact, ZANU-PF, MDC, Chamisa, Mnangagwa, as if they are the people that think better than anybody else and they are the people that should talk. The people that are having problems are ordinary people, ordinary Zimbabweans. The people that bear the brand of the crisis are the chiefs, the pastors, who are with the people in the communities. Now, if you seek for a solution and you actually exclude those people in the solution of this country, Who is talking then? Where are you getting your issues from? This is fundamental. And therefore the church and the traditional leaders must have a pact where we are saying we are tired of politicians and political parties. We want the people to speak and to be heard. We are in this mess because of politicians. And that truth must be said. It is no secret. Sometimes we wonder whether we are being ruled or we are being governed. You can figure out what's the difference. The issues of national dialogue is not something that started with us. We had national dialogue going on in Tunisia. We had national dialogue in Yemen. And these people have eventually continued, in spite of the fact that there are governments in place. But the national dialogue process is now a culture that has been instilled in the nation, that when it comes to big issues, they call for national dialogue, for all the people to come and discuss issues that are pertaining to the country. Zimbabwe has got to a place where it's important that we change the way in which we do things. I'm going to say something in English very briefly, but I'm sorry, but I'll try to explain it. It is Albert Einstein, the scientist, who said it is lunacy, it is madness for people to continue to do things the same way over and over and over again and expect a different answer. It is madness. So as a result, there's no way we can continue to say, Chamisa Mnangagwa talked and it solves problems for us. No. No. We need to bring in fresh minds. We have people that are educated, we have people that are experienced, we have got people that have got the support of the ordinary people. That needs to be part of that. Very, very critical. There are guidelines for national dialogue. This particular talk about national dialogue, particularly from government, needs to be streamlined. We need to know who is calling for national dialogue, what agenda, who is the chairperson. Because we can't have other people being the prosecutor, the judge, the accused, and everything. It doesn't work. And therefore, number one, guideline. We need to have, in national dialogue, inclusivity. Stakeholders must be included in the process. Number two, it must be clear what it is that they need to do is transparency. Very critical. If you have to have a national dialogue, there has to be some transparency. Very clear direction of what it is that they are talking about and what it is that needs to be done. Number three, there must be public participation. That's national dialogue. There has to be a public. I don't usually use a piece of paper when I talk. And the fact that I've got a piece of paper today, it means this is important. I want you to know that. So public participation, it must have all the stakeholders. There must be a far-reaching agenda, not a limited agenda that only pertains to few and specific individuals. It must have a national agenda. It must take a national scope in its framework. So when they talk about national agenda, we must demand a national agenda which pertains to everybody and to all the people. It must be they must be of critical importance. By the way, when I talk about far-reaching, the agenda must be clear in that it's pertaining and also addressing root causes. It must not be a superficial approach. It must seek to be addressing real, fundamental, grassroots issues that people are worried about. We have perennial, my other name is Gukuraundi, by the way. We have perennial issues like Gukuraundi. We are not saying Gukuraundi is, by the way, I never said Gukuraundi is the only problem. But for some of us here in Matabeleland, Gukuraundi is the problem. We want the people of Nare to come and tell us what their problem is. And we are not saying it's not important, but that's your problem from Mutare. Why? Because there are multiple narratives that make up Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is not made up of the war narrative alone. That is not true. There was a country before the war. There are issues that happen that need to be discussed. So you cannot give us the war narrative as the only narrative for Zimbabwe. That is not true. There are massacres in Mount Darwin. We don't know where they came from. That's their narrative, that's not ours. But when we put them together, Judge, then we have a collective memory of our past as Zimbabweans. The collective memory of Zimbabweans is that which will give us a sense of identity and a sense of belonging. That together, this is our Zimbabwe. That comes from that national agenda with root causes. It must also have, like the judge went to the shops here trying to explain. Did you see he spent all his time trying to convince us and telling us how he was chosen. Do you know why it's important? There must be a credible convener of national dialogue. The person who leads it must be a credible person who is nationally accepted by everybody. That's why the judge was talking about how he was selected, in order for us to understand that it was not a simple process. Even within the national dialogue, whoever has got to be a convener has got to be somebody who is credible, somebody who is nationally accepted, because this is a national dialogue. I was going to say hallelujah. I realized I'm not in the church. With that, we must have rules and guidelines that protect everybody in the dialogue. People must be protected. There must be security about everybody. And the country is not about national security alone. It is also about individual security. So everybody must be protected. If that's what we want to do, then we must deal with issues to do with POSA and IPA. Because you can't say you need national dialogue, but people are not allowed to meet and to discuss things openly. You cannot do that. That's double standard. That's insincerity. And therefore, there must be very clear rules and guidelines, rules of engagement. That if this is what we are doing, therefore we need to be able to do it in this way. And these guidelines and these rules are binding to everybody involved, without favor or creed, without just looking at men or looking at female alone. We must also have a very clear implementation action plan. How do we intend to apply and implement this whole idea of a national agenda? The problem we have in Zimbabwe is that people are talking about an animal that is not yet identified. We have no idea what dialogue we are talking about. Who is leading it? What are the issues? So you can't actually blame somebody who says they don't want to be part of it, because there's nothing that is there in front that can say we are committed to this. So the idea is probably to publicize and popularize national dialogue as a way in which we can bring about a transformation of Zimbabwean politics. That way we are moving away from Shona and Ndebele, ZANU-PF, MDC, ZAPU, whatever. We are now talking about Zimbabweans. It's time we start talking about Zimbabweans. The biggest problem that we have in Zimbabwe right now is polarization on party political lines. That's why I mentioned to you last week in another meeting that I don't understand when people are saying there are people that are no regime change. Is that surprising when you go to opposition political party? Is that surprising when you go to an election? You are accusing people of a regime change when you are asking for an election. So you think opposition parties are going for election because they want to keep you in power? What absurd. How absurd that people would think like that. If people are forming political parties and you are accusing them of regime change, you might as well ban political parties then. We need to be sincere and honest with what we are talking about. But I'm not going to take your time. I need to say these two things that I'm going to say and I sit down. National dialogue must also be thought and planned as it relates, number one, to the role of Parliament, because we have got a Parliament in place. National dialogue must be discussed in relationship to the role of the Constitution of the country, because we can't steamroll it. We need to decide how it works. And lastly, the national dialogue must be discussed in relationship to government. Government must be perceived and seen as a tool and instrument for the people, not for a political party. And there's need for redefinition and need for realignment. There is need for what they call transformation or reform agenda in reforming some of our institutions so that they align with our constitution, not a political party guidelines. Very critical. Lastly, national dialogue is an integral part of a political change as an ongoing dialogue of engagement of the people who have a sense of belonging and a common destiny as a nation. A national dialogue is able to help us to begin to talk about nationhood. Zimbabwe has no nation. There are people who are supposed Zimbabweans who have no sense of belonging. National dialogue that includes even the diaspora will begin to have everybody begin to think we can contribute, we can be part of the process because we are Zimbabweans. I thank you.